Good afternoon, everyone. We are going to have our second class of equivalent fractions today. The topic we are going to do today is equivalent fractions. All right. Now all of you can see that I have a whole pizza here, yummy, and it looks really delicious now. We cannot have it now, but we're going to learn the equivalent fractions through these pizzas. All right. Okay, so let's start it. Now let's say that I want to cut this one whole pizza into two equal pieces. All right. um, okay, now if I'm going to cut it this way, this one half is not very good. Okay, now see that we can say that I have cut this down into two equal pieces, and I want to eat the half of it. So we can say that I ate one half of the pizza. All right, these should be equal, but they are not equal. I cannot draw them equally. But you just imagine that if there are two equal parts, so I ate one of those two pieces. So what fraction of pizza have I eaten? I have eaten half of it. All right, half, or so I have eaten half of that pizza. Okay, now let's imagine that instead of dividing it into only two, I decide to cut it into four equal parts. So if I divide this into four equal parts, this time is much better, but even they're not equal again. So if I want to eat the same amount, if I want to say here that if I want to eat the same amount of pizza, so what do you think that how much have I eaten? Over here it was I was having, in the first picture it was divided into two equal parts, and I chose to eat only half of it. So this one represents that I have eaten one half, right? Now I want to divide this into four equal parts. Alright, so now let's see that if I have divided into four equal parts, and again now I want to eat the same amount of the pizza, how many out of these four I would eat? I would definitely eat the same. If I want to eat the same part, so I would eat this part of the pizza, right? So how many pieces were they? There were two pieces, right? So I must say that I'm going to eat 2 out of 4, and it shows that the amount of the pizza is same, right? Even though the numbers are different, one half and 2/4, the numbers are different but they represent the same quantity. This means that they are equal, and hence we can say that one half is equivalent to 2/4. All right. Okay, now let's consider to divide this into more parts. All right, now I want to cut it into 8 equal parts, so I will try my best to cut it into equally. I have now here, first I divided into 4, and then I'm going to divide each part into 2 again. Okay, so now this pizza is having how many equal parts? 8 equal parts. Alright, now I am saying here the same thing, I want to eat the same amount of pizza. So how many parts am I going to eat? Which part of which, how many pieces am I going to eat? I'm going to eat these all pieces, right? If I consider the same amount of pizza, I am eating the same amount of pizza, this part, this part, this part here, and this part same. So these out of 8 pieces, what do you think that I am going to eat? How many pieces am I going to eat? I am going to eat, yes, 4 out of 8. So Now all of you can see that this is 2/4 is equal to, since they are representing the same quantity, so the fractions are equal. All right, they are equivalent fractions. Okay, I hope you all have understood this. Now see here that if you have 3/4 here. Okay, now firstly I'm going to take the same numbers. You have 1/2 equal to, you were having 1/2, then you were having 2/4, and then you were having 4/8. Now if you're going to see all of these fractions here, you can see a pattern over here, right? Now if you're going to see that the first fraction is 1/2, if you see the denominator is 2 and in the second fraction the denominator is 4, we can see that we have taken the twice of that number, right? And twice of this is 8, and over here also twice of this is 1 is 2 and twice of 2 is 4. So actually what we are doing is multiplying both the numbers, the numerator and the denominator, by 2, right? 1 2s are 2 and 2 2s are 4. Over here also the same fraction is going on. 2 2s are 4 and 4 2s are 8. All right, so these are called equivalent fractions. Okay, I'm going to show you another example that how we are going to form different types of equivalent fractions here. Now let's take the example of 3/4. Okay, so 3/4, if I write here, to get an equivalent fraction of 3/4, you're going to multiply both the numerator and denominator by the same number. You can multiply it by 2, or you can multiply both the numbers by 7, right? Or you can multiply both the numbers by any number, but the same number should be there. 3 7 times is 21 and 4 7 times is 28. All right, so we can say that 28 is equivalent to 3/4. All right, okay. All right, okay. Now if you have a fraction here 2/5 and you have a number here 10 is given, and you have to find the number over here. What number you're going to get right here in the box to get an equivalent fractions. You can find out by seeing that 5 is how many times 10. 5 is 2 times 10, so you multiply the numerator also by the same number. 2 times is 4, so your answer is 4/10. all right, okay. If I ask you that we can form the fractions 3 or 4 more fractions we can get by multiplying the numerator and denominator by the same number, so we can say that we have 3/5 and we have to form 3 fractions here or 2 fractions here. We can form 10 fractions of equivalent fraction. So what we actually need to do, we actually need to multiply the numbers by the same numerator and denominator by the same numbers. Okay, 3 times 2, 5 times 2, 6 and 10. Now we can multiply here 6 times 2 is 12 and 10 times 2 is 20. In this way we can get the 3 or more equivalent fractions. So that's all for today. I hope you have understood that what equivalent fractions are. In the next lesson we are going to learn that how we are going to get the equivalent fractions by dividing. Okay,